I'd like to tell you the story of Your Soul Wants 5 Things. I thought I understood it, but no, it had so much to teach me. I think looking back, this entire story began on December 31st of 1995. I was in a toxic marriage and doing toxic work that did not feed my soul. And on New Year's Eve, I stepped into my back office, my home office, and I tried to turn the calendar over to January 1st of 1996, and I burst into tears. And I just said, I cannot face another year like this year. And I cannot tell you why I did this, but I grabbed a piece of paper and I wrote, I want you to find me. I will sit in a field until you find me. I did not realize that I had just said the most dangerous prayer of my life. I now strongly encourage people, only pray dangerous prayers, but I didn't realize in that moment, because I just dried my tears and left the office planning on facing another year just like the year before, but I had set something in motion with that. You can't even call it a prayer, it was a demand. And I could see myself alone in this field, on the ground, yellow dry grass, yellow hot sky, a few trees in the distance. Come on, God, you can't miss me. If you'll just look, you can't miss me. Well, I guess God did a little looking. Because within months, my marriage imploded. You all know the story from Writing Down Your Soul. And you know that my sweet puppy brought me my untouched copy of The Artist's Way. You get to see Harley's actual adorable bite marks. And this book changed my life because I read that you can pick up a pen and contact a source of wisdom within. And that led to years later, my first book, didn't know it was going to be my first book, Writing Down Your Soul. Well, one of the first things I had a conversation with Dear God on the page was vows. Vows, schmows, don't talk to me about vows. And I demanded true vows. I want vows that are me to myself, me to my soul, me to my God, that I couldn't break under any circumstances. And that evolved into my soul vows. And that is going to be my next book. I can't show you the book itself, unless you want to look at my publisher's catalog page. There is the precious cover of Soul Vows, and they love, and I love that cover so much that here it is on the cover of my publisher's spring catalog. And then, of course, the story kept unfolding. I didn't understand that it was unfolding. But the next thing that I became aware of, I had an Akashic Record reading with Laura Lynn Bunn for Writing Down Your Soul. And I asked the masters and teachers, am I fulfilling my soul's purpose? And I about fell out of my chair when they said, well, actually, this isn't the life you came in for. But when you checked the box to become a writer, all these unseen, unknown, hidden talents came forward. And when I got off the phone, I went, what? When did I check the box? What? And I was reminded that, I don't know if you can see this precious little card, let me get it for you. Years before, I had taken a little download on my soul's purpose to use words to connect people to the light. Only I didn't understand at all what that meant years and years ago. So the next adventure was bankruptcy. Excuse me? Why am I facing bankruptcy? Turned out to be an astonishing gift that eventually culminated in this book, The Lotus and the Lily. And so I discovered that I had 5 spiritual practices, 5 mystical practices, and I was teaching 4 of them, and I simply proceeded to do this work. And then on January 1st, 2011, I made my second intention mandala. And here it is, in all its perfectly plain, beaten up glory. I had replicated the image of my Le Creuset orange flame Dutch oven. And when I realized that, I laughed and drew the handles. And I got out a little spoon, a little construction paper spoon. I called my year Big Pot, and I stood right here. I guess this is sacred space. And I looked up at the ceiling and said, so, I guess this means you are the chef, and I am the ragu. And I stirred the spoon and said, make of me what you will. Dangerous prayer number 2. God works really fast. A couple weeks later, I'm awakened with a chorus of angels in my left ear, saying very clearly and very loudly, your soul wants 5 things. 5? At that point, I had 4 courses. What do you say we settle on 4? So I came in here and started to work on your soul wants 4 things. What was I thinking? Next morning, lying in the theta brainwave state in bed, the chorus of angels wasn't so happy with me. And they're screaming, serve a purpose. I knew bloody well what they were telling me. I knew how important that purpose statement is to me. I knew that everything I was doing was aligned with that purpose statement, to use words to connect people to the light, but I didn't know how to teach it for you, so I hadn't offered it as a course. So the voices got gentle with me, and they stopped screaming, lowered to a sweet whisper and said, look at your hand. And I pulled up my hand. Okay, your soul wants 5 things. And I came in here to get to work on all 5 things. Now, I do have a confession to make. I stood exactly where I am right now, looked up at the ceiling and said, are you sure about this? Because at that point I had one little book. I said, come on, I probably have 1,200 people on my newsletter list. You sure you don't want to check in with Marianne Williamson? Maybe she's not doing anything right now. So, okay, I did my little pushback. But by the end of the day, I was working on your soul wants 5 things. And so I committed to the 5 things. Your soul wants to connect with Source. I teach writing down your soul. And what a gorgeous mystical practice to connect with the wisdom, the voice within. The second thing your soul wants is to commit to values, and that's my beautiful experience of soul vows. The third thing your soul wants is to live a life aligned with your soul's purpose. And that is the course I had to create that year, Soul Direction. And with the Divine's guidance, I do know now, almost effortlessly, how to guide you into the remembering of why you came. And the fourth thing your soul wants is to express its beauty. Every soul, you don't have to be Picasso, wants to express its beauty, leave its footprints in the world, make this world a more beautiful place. And I offer 2 creativity courses in the summer, one for writers and one for everybody else. And the 5th thing your soul wants is to create life. To create life. Not in the simplistic law of attraction way that we've all been taught, but in the way that the Buddha and Jesus, the lotus and the lily, taught thousands of years ago, to create fertile conditions. And we culminate that 5th course, the lotus and lily, by creating this exquisite intention mandala, which really is a 3-dimensional hologram of you, your intentions, your soul, your spirit vibrating in space, and through the beautiful mystery of quantum entanglement, effortlessly, miraculously, whoo, in ways you could never imagine, this beautiful life that wants to be lived in and through and as you simply arrives. So I thought, okay, I understand what your soul wants 5 things is, and I guess we're finished, and I'll just be teaching these courses for the rest of my life. No, it was just the beginning. A year later, I had this knowing. Yes, your soul wants these 5 things, but guess what? Your soul already knows them. Your soul already knows them. Your soul wants to connect with Source, and it knows that there's a voice within. Your soul wants to commit to values, and it already knows that there is a presence inside you, the presence of the divine. That's why the subtitle of the book is Gathering the Presence of the Divine in You, through you, and as you. Your soul wants to serve a purpose, It already knows. You just have to remember, it already knows that you have a purpose inside. Every single person on the planet came with a divine purpose. Your soul wants to express its beauty, and your soul already knows there's a creator inside you. Everybody, everybody. John O'Donohue says you were created to create. Matthew Fox's book, Creativity, the subtitle is Where the Divine and the Human Meet. Where do they meet? In creativity. So your soul knows there's a creator in here. You just have to step out of the way. And the fifth thing your soul wants is to create life. Well, your soul already knows that the life that wants to be lived in you, through you, and as you is already here. I thought, whoa, okay, now we're finished. No, not even close. I was awakened in the middle of the night one night, and I simply received, I almost could feel them coming down like a ladder, the 5 sacred geometry symbols, one for each of the deep soul experiences. And so, of course, the Mobius strip is the perfect symbol of writing down your soul. This beautiful quartered circle, you'll discover in Soul Vows why that's the symbol. This beautiful symbol of the spiral takes you back in time to remember your soul's purpose. This is the perfect symbol of the intersection where creativity flows. And this is the simplest mandala of all, the dot of the divine at the center and the human experience in the circle. And all I could do is say, thank you. So now I thought, okay, we're finished. We've got what your soul wants, what your soul knows, and the sacred geometry symbols, and we've got the 5 mystical practices. Surely, your soul wants 5 things is finished. No, not even close. Next, the temple has to be created.